let's try out a break-even analysis using what if to see how we can manipulate numbers and try and figure out what a restaurant needs to do. So this is an example of a restaurant. These are, and the question we're asking is, firstly, how many plates on average, at an average price of $15 a plate, does a restaurant need to sell in order to break even, which basically means anything after that, anything they sell after that, they start making a profit. So we need to know the fixed costs, variable costs, and the revenues per plate in order to figure that out. So we'll say, all right, how much is revenue, or how much is the fixed cost? Start off with rent. Rent is $4,000. Then, of course, you have your employee costs. So suppose you have 3 hourly employees, like stewards or stewardesses, being paid $8 an hour, working 12 hours per day and 30 days a month. And you've got, let's say, possibly few kitchen staff. So we'll say kitchen staff get paid $10, and perhaps there are 2 kitchen staff. Again, they're working 12 hours a day, 30 days a month. So in order to do the calculation, all we do is equal to, so calculations always begin with equal to 8 times 3 employees times working 12 hours a day times working 30 days a month, and we find it's 8640. Similarly, instead of typing the next cell in, what we can do is move your cursor till it turns into a thick cross to a thinner cross, like a crosshair, and then pull it down. And you suddenly see, all right, we've got that, right? So in this case, we've got kitchen staff that are working. You've got 2 kitchen staff, 10 hours, working 12 hours a day, is a month. So we'll try and input this number. So we've got 8640, and then we've got 7200. So we'll say 7200 for kitchen staff. So now we've got that set ready. What's our total employee payroll is equal to, so we'll just sum it. Sum of hourly employees, managers, chef, kitchen staff. Close it and click it. Says 23,840. So let's type this out separately. 23,840, and we'll tell you, we know we're going to need that for what if analysis. We can't have a calculated cell being manipulated because that also depends on other numbers, so it has to be a fixed numerical value. Then of course you have utilities worth 1,000, insurance $1,000 a month, marketing expenses $500 a month, inventory $5,000 a month, supplies $200 a month. Total fixed cost, therefore, is nothing but the sum of your, so let's do it again, is equal to sum of the rent and, of course, this whole set. So all I did was click on it and while holding the left mouse button, drag it through. So C2 and C7 to C12 and let go. Close your brackets and you've got your 35,540, right? So that's your fixed cost per month. Your variable cost every time you sell 1 plate, ingredient costs, indirect costs like free coffee or whatever it is, napkins, paper towels, laundry detergent to wash things, sanitizers and all that stuff. About $7 every time you serve a single plate to a customer. Every single plate on average costs about $15 per plate, right? Or not cost, the price you sell it for, $15 per plate. So that's your revenue. So the way you calculate your break even is, simply put, is equal to nothing but your fixed costs divided by your revenues. So I open a bracket and then minus your variable costs, which is also known as, so revenue minus variable cost is known as contribution margin. So it's fixed costs divided by the contribution margin, and you click enter. And you see it says you need to sell 4,443 plates per month, which means every day you need to sell about 148 plates. So suppose COVID, well, in the face of COVID, so COVID space constraints, say constraints, will force us to have only half of it, so is equal to half of that number. So we can only have 2,221 people, right? We can't admit the people we typically admitted, which is 4,443. So now we need to know, if times have changed and we can only sell 2,221 plates per month, what do we need to change? So remember that number, that's an interesting number. So we've halved it, only 50% sales per month, right? So this is nothing but 50% divided by 2, or of course you could have said, another way is this times 0.5, right? And that will give you the same number too. So we need to know 2,221 item plates we can sell. What should we do? We need to manage what we need to do because we can't make ends meet. So either we can, typically what companies do, they either cut employee payroll, that's why employee costs are the first things that companies try to reduce, or else you could increase your price. So we've got one out of two options. So we'll mark those two options. So we'll go to home and then we'll put like let's see, a light red marker, something similar, or sort of a nice pastel marker out there. And we know this is our fixed cost, and we'll put border right top of it, so we know that's our fixed cost. And this is our number 2221, right? So let's go to data, and you see there's a what if, and we open up something called goal seek. So once we open up goal seek, you've got a set of the dialog box tells you what is the cell you want to set. So we want to set the calculated cell. What's a break-even point, which is this cell, which is F2. What value do you want? They're saying that, what do you want to change? We want to change what we now need to sell, 4,443, to the new reality, right? The new world order, which is we can only sell half of it. So 2221. We can only sell 2,221. They're saying, what do you want to change? So we can say, all right, we can either increase prices or reduce employee costs. So we'll say, let's see how much prices we need to increase. Assume you're really benevolent and you don't want to cut any employee payroll. So we say we want to change cell E2. So once again, which cell do you set? F2, which is your break even, to what value? Half of what we can sell because of COVID. By changing what sells, by changing how much should we change our prices to make ends meet if we maintain our employee payroll and don't furlough anybody, and say okay, and says all right, it's found a solution. All it's saying is, if you want to manage it, then your price per plate should go up from $15 to $23 a plate. Now, of course, that's one option. The other option, let's go back to what it is. So all I did was Control Z and went back to the whole set. What if, on the other hand, I don't think my customers can pay $23 on average per plate, So I want to rather cut employee costs. So set cell again, 4,443 to what we can deal with and COVID under COVID constraints with physical separation and all that. Your space has gotten limited to 1 by changing cell. Which cell do you want to change? We want to change our employee payroll, right? And click OK. Now it says it's found a solution. If you still want to just maintain your $15 price per plate, your employee payroll should go down from 23,840 to 6,068. That's the only way, which basically means if you think of what 6,068 is out of 23,840, nothing but is equal to 6,068 divided by what we originally had, right? And we know what percentage that is, right? So how much do we need to cut? All we say is 1 minus that. And if you want to convert it, just click on it and right click, say format cells, and say we want it to be a percentage and click OK. Say you need to cut your payroll by 74.55% if you want to maintain your $15 price per plate, but only admit, or again, you can only sell 2,221. That's your break even. After that, you start making a profit. Thank you very much. Hope this was helpful.